Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eris and today I'm showing you guys how I made this pink purse. So I like to start with my sketch. I usually don't show this, but this is actually my process. I just make little sketches and this gives me an idea of what I'm about to make, and it also helps me when I'm trying to decide the measurements. Basically just helps me imagine better. So I'm going to change this to like an Illustrator file so it's better for you guys to understand. For the sides, for the main piece, how I put everything together, and for the strap. So I'm going to start cutting the piece here. I'm so sorry, I think I missed out on some details, but if you've watched any of my tutorials, you should already understand how I use the wrapping method when I'm making my bags. And today, the main material we're using here is actually called foam, or here some people call it mako. Okay, but if you don't really know what it is, it's basically the same thing you use when you buy like an oversized shoe, and I grew up calling this shoe pad, but apparently it's just foam, and it's really soft and it's bendable, and it was perfect for this bag. So I'm going to quickly cut this out with my free hand before we move on to do other things. So this type of flap, I actually cut this intentionally because I wanted to use a triangle bag lock. So if you're using a square bag lock, you should actually follow well, obviously the type of lock you want to use would actually determine how you made the tip. But since I got this lock some months ago, I have never stopped thinking about this type of pattern. So today I'm actually being assisted by my intern Nifemi. She's going to help us put some of these things together, and if my own attention is needed, I am going to join in. So it's pretty standard. It's similar to my previous post where you put the gum on the faux leather before putting the gum on whatever you're using as the interface. So that's why she puts the gum first on the faux leather. If this is one of my first tutorials you're watching, you should go check out my other videos. I sort of skipped some steps because I felt that it was beginning to get redundant to show the same thing over and over. So I'm just going to do it like a highlight thin, where we put the gum on the faux leather, put the gum on the interface, then just put them together, then wrap it. So this one is a single piece. We did not do the base separate. If you want to learn that method, you can click the link here and go watch that one. But this one is more simplified, and it's just one long piece, which is basically the top, the back, then the front. So she's just going to cut this, trim the excesses out before putting an outline of glue. So a few people always ask what kind of glue we use. It's actually called contact adhesive, or some people call it Evo stick or Echo stick. I think I've heard that one before. So today I'm using a bone folder because this is kind of like a tight corner, and if you're doing this type of folding, you should make sure to make little notches. If you started with sewing clothes, you understand why this is a thing, so it doesn't so it actually folds in properly. So I'm just going to do the tip because it's a very pointy end. So I'm just going to go on to do this tip before moving to the other side of the bag. So this, we're just going to quickly go all around it. If you are using this method, this is the easiest way so far. So that's why I said this kind of tutorials are really good for beginners, because if you learn how to do this at one piece, then when you're more skilled, then you can start doing them piece by piece. So I think my next bag will be how to make a bag and do the flap separate, then attach it to the main piece. I think I should do that next. So we're just going to go in and fold everything in, just taking my sweet time. So you want to make sure you do this neat, because when you start sewing, it's the point of no return. You can't go back. So as per my normal ritual, I like to always check in to see if the shape actually comes out the way I imagine, because most times when I make these bags, I make them from my head, so I'm not really sure about the fit and the sizing and all. That's why I'm always obsessed with folding it together at every junction. So this is the point where you put, if you are using a bag lock with screws, you put your holes first before cutting the main hole where the other side is going to go through. So since I'm using this triangle lock, this bag was made for this lock. But if you're using a square, you can now make this point to be four-cornered instead of with a blunt tip. So I'm just going to quickly check if it fits. It's always good to do this at every junction, especially when it's the first time you're making a bag. If you've made it before, you can wing it, but this is the first time I'm doing this, so I needed this to be able to fit this second part of the lock. So if you make a mistake, this is the point where you start to correct it. So the next stage, I'm just going to quickly show you guys how I fix this type of bag bottom studs. Some people call it bag legs, some people call it bottom studs. Me, I just call it everything together, so whoever I'm talking to will understand what I'm referring to. So we're going to put 4 holes, about an inch from the sides and an inch from the front and the back. Yeah, you want to make sure they're not too close to the edge, so it's sort of makes sense. So these are the gussets. I did it off camera. This is the handle. You can just follow the measurements on the part on the measurement page I put there. This is 5 by 50 centimeter. I'm just going to, I already put gum on it. I wrapped it with the synthetic leather. Like I said, I didn't want it to become too redundant where I'm doing the same procedure over and over and over again. If this is your first time watching any of my videos like this, you can go watch some. I'm going to put some links below on similar bags I have made in the past with slight alterations. So we're just going to sew this quickly, and this is going to be our handle. So I actually wanted an upright handle because I don't know, no reason exactly. I just wanted something. I made this thing for an event, so I needed to make a kind of bag that would get people's attention. So I didn't want anything that's going to be frumpy and all. I don't know if I got that word right. So this is the middle point. I'm just going to make a mark because that is where I'm going to sew the handle to the sides. So I'm just going to go make a quick cut. I wanted this fitting to be really tight. That is why I didn't widen the hole. I wanted to literally just shove it in and let the hole fit around the handle snugly. I needed this thing to be tight and as stiff as possible. You're going to see why when we're done making the bag. So we're going to cut the second one and I'm going to shove the handle through. I'm using the width of 2 centimeters because that was what worked for me. If you're making your handle a little slimmer, you make the hole smaller. We're just going to sew this quickly, and this you can already understand what I was going for with the upright handle. I mean, it's not the most comfortable or whatever, but I want something I would have been able to just pick up and move out on the go. I didn't want anything that you have to like worry with the chains and all, so that's why I went for this. So I'm just going to apply glue on it, contact adhesive or any type of craft glue you're using. Just put the glue on the inner side and also on the main piece before you gum your lining. You don't have to use this velvet fabric. You can use the same synthetic leather. I think I should actually do that too. I don't know, I keep missing these things. I'm just used to this black because it's easier to maintain and it's black, so it hardly stains. So this is the black, my favorite type of lining. It has this really lush feel. So I'm just using my hand to go over it because I want the glue to really soak into the fabric. That's why I always have a habit of rubbing this in like lotion. So I did the same thing for the 2 side pieces. Side piece. Then we're going to take this back to the sewing machine to sew the flap and to sew the inner side and the top of both gussets. So after sewing that, then you trim any excesses from just the sides that you sewed. I'm going to show you guys how I trim the other sides shortly. So here I already started, but I didn't want to do the whole thing off camera. And you just go with the scissors as close to the edge as possible. If you can use a knife, it's fine, but I prefer scissors. It's easier for me to control that way without damaging the outer faux leather. So I don't think I've ever shown this on video before, how I actually trim in the excess, because the fact is, if you just trim the fabric at the edge and you don't move it in about like 3 to 4 millimeters, when you sew, you're going to have black fabric sticking out. So you want to make sure you go with a really sharp knife and you're not using too much pressure, just enough pressure. Oh, I'm talking really fast. Enough pressure to cut through the fabric but not through the synthetic. So when you clip it just like we're doing right now, you don't see the lining sticking out because the contrast is very wide, so it's definitely going to show. So here Nife is helping me clip this in, and as you can see how she's really putting it close together, so when you sew you don't get to see the insides. So she's just going to clip both sides and take it to the machine for sewing. Okay, I just really wanted to show this entire thing so you would understand the importance of proper fitting. And this is, you can already see how the bag looks. It's already gorgeous. The structured midi purse. So now we take it for sewing. So I'm using my cylinder bed industrial sewing machine, and you can tell that I've already cut my table into two because I had this problem and a lot of you guys complain a lot. So personally, I tried to find the model with the half table, but I did not find any. So I had to call my technician and we just had to brutalize this table so that we would have enough space, because I'm pretty sure with the original table that came with this machine, this thing I'm sewing right now may not be able to go through, except to have to like shove it through the small space and let it move through the opening. So I had to like brutalize this table, cut it into two so we have spaces. So if we make bags like this in bigger sizes, we can just comfortably, easily just sew this. So at this point, you can already tell this is like the second to last step. It's just like one more step after this. But if you have any comments or any questions about this, don't forget to put in the description. I would love to hear from you guys. And okay, yeah, sorry, lastly, before I just skip this and put the bag lock back, obviously. So thanks for watching my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry I skipped some steps. If you want to watch more lengthy videos on how to make bags, you can click my other videos. I'll put the links up. I'm going to put the cards up so you can see this. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please watch my other videos, leave thumbs up, comments, anything you want. I love you guys. Ciao.